Hey guys, it's Bobi aka Paginator, and today we're going to talk about Sharkathon 2025. So this is the 5th year that I'm hosting Sharkathon. So if you're new here, Sharkathon is a readathon that coincides with the Discovery Channel's Shark Week. This year it is July 20th through the 26th, and so for the readathon, we just read during those days, and it's kind of a little competition. We kind of tally results at the end to see who's read the most and that kind of thing. But it's all in good fun, and really everybody wins because you read something, whether it was a paragraph or a whole book or 5 whole books or 15 whole books. I don't know. Some people can read like a ton during 1 week. So it just depends on how much time you have on your hands and how much you would like to participate. So let's talk about how things are gonna be a little bit different this year. In the past, our prompts for books have all been based on types of sharks. Now, I love sharks and especially love whale sharks, but I found myself getting kind of stuck when I sat down to make plans for Sharkathon this year because I always do the same thing. I pick a collection of sharks and make some prompts based on them. And I thought, I want to do something a little bit more story-based. So here's what we have. Instead of just a list of prompts, we have a board game. We have a goal that we're trying to achieve with the board game. You can move spaces along the board in a variety of ways, and we're going to be talking about all of those things. Before I get too deep into the rules and the story and all of this kind of thing, I want to talk a little bit about where you can get the printable files that I have created as well as the digital images that I've made. So if you go to Kofi, my Kofi will be linked in the space below, or Ko-Fi, however you want to say it. There is a Sharkathon 2025 posting, and you will be able to download either a PDF that's 4 pages or 4 JPEG images, or both if you prefer, with the information. There's a title page, there is a rules and prompts page, a game board page, and then a helpful links page. So you can then get those pages and have them on hand during Sharkathon if you would like. Whether you have them digitally or you print them out, that's up to you. If you want to do the game board but you don't have a printer or access to printing, I would suggest opening the game board page or image in Canva or a photo editing app or something where you can make marks and then just mark off the spaces as you go. So you can do it without printing any paper if you would like. Let's talk about story. So our Sharkathon this year is going to take us on a journey under the sea, and we are going to the kingdom of the Mer people. In this kingdom, there was a king and queen who were happily married, had 3 children, had a son, and then several years later 2 daughters came along. The queen, unfortunately, got a bit power hungry. She decided that she just wanted to rule everything, not just the Mer people, but the entire ocean, all of the oceans. And as she started to make maneuvers in the court of the Mer kingdom to start to gain power, her husband quickly caught on to what was going on and shut it down. Said, no, you're not going to do this. And she started physically attacking him. His guards put her under restraints, and the Mer King immediately sought help for her. In this Mer Kingdom, they're very forward-thinking in the way that they treat mental health, and so he brought in Mer counselors and things for the queen, but she just couldn't let it go. And so she is very well cared for, gets to see her children often, but is kept in seclusion for her own safety and the safety of other people. They've tried a couple of times to let her kind of rejoin palace life, and she's just immediately started up with this evil plotting thing. And the king does not believe in putting any of his mer people to death, especially his wife and the mother of his children. And so she's kind of set to the side. The oldest son, the prince, he is kind of a melancholy, broody figure. He feels bad that his mother's put in this position, even though he knows she's not being mistreated. He knows that she's willing to mistreat others to gain what she wants. And so he has these conflicting feelings of both loving his mother because she's his mother, and the good memories he had from when he was younger and when his sisters were very small. But shortly after the youngest was born is when these things started to happen, and he wants to help take care of his sisters. His father's getting up there in years, and he'd really like to fall in love. Now, in the Mer Kingdom, when royalty want to marry, they have something that exists that's very similar to the selection series, where several people are brought in, and it's almost like a reality show situation where all the sea creatures and the mer people get to come and see the mer ladies or mer gentlemen that are competing to marry the royalty compete in several things, several skills. And then there are also opportunities for dates, like on The Bachelor, there's one-on-one dates and that kind of thing. Unlike The Bachelor, where the producers control a lot of the choices going on, the prince is in total control over the dating parts. He does have some kind of game makers, to borrow a word from the Hunger Games, that will manage the competition events and those kind of things. But when it comes to actually choosing the person that he wants to spend his life with, he's allowed to make those choices 100% on his own. Your task, if you choose to create a character, is to enter this competition. You may enter as a human who will then be transformed into a mer person if they are the winner, okay, and be able to, given the ability to breathe underwater and stuff in the competition and so forth. You may choose to compete as a mermaid or a merman. Either one's fine. Or maybe a sea witch or sea sorcerer. I have created quite a few images using the Magic Studio AI art generator. And there are some character images in a folder that will be linked in the documents for you. There aren't as many male characters because the AI I was using was a free one, and it seemed to think that mermen needed to be wearing jeans and that their legs were only connected at the feet. And because it's a free AI, some of the other images look a little bit wonky too. I tried to only include ones that looked like mostly normal, but there's a variety of different images there if you want to choose a character, or if you have like a completely different character, all your own, go for it. Choose something else. You could even create your own character art if you wanted to. So for example, I'm going to pop up a picture of one of the images that I created. Let's say I'm going to play as this mermaid, okay? I'm going to take her around the board, and as I read each book to fulfill prompts, I can earn points depending on the length of the book. I can move, I keep saying points, I can move spaces. I can move forward down the board, along the board, depending on the length of the book. I might move more. Okay, and I'll explain that in a minute. But my goal is going to try to make it to the end of the game board by the time that the Sharkathon is done to be with the prince. All right, so I think now would be a good time to talk about rules. If you see me looking off to the side, I've got my document up here. I want to make sure I included everything and explain it well for you. Okay, so what you'll want to do is complete prompts in any order. They are listed 1 through 7, but you can do them in any order that you want totally fine. This is a very like do it your own way, relax, no pressure kind of reading challenge, okay? In fact, if the name Whatever-a-thon hadn't been taken, I might have called it that instead. Because you know what? Just do whatever you want, okay? When you finish a book, for every 200 pages, you get to move forward a space. And you might be thinking, well, that means I have to read like all the way to 400 pages to move 2 spaces? Not really. Because what you'll see, and when you fill out the Google form after you finish each book, you'll see different page amount categories. So if there's between 1 and 200 pages, then you move forward 1 space. So you could read like a 90-page novella, 1 space, right? Some people like to do children's books for Sharkathon. Like if you did like a picture book, let's say 36 pages, still 1 space, okay? Anything from 201 to 400 pages is 2 spaces. 401 to 600 pages is 3 spaces, and so on. On the Google form, it goes up to 600, but then there's an option for other if you read more than that, because I know some people might pick like a massive chunky book. Bless you. So the creating a character part, again, is optional. Can be male, female, non-binary, whatever you want. As far as gender goes, if you want to go for like more of a sea witch, like lurking in the shadows thing, maybe we are really going to bring some evil into the Mer Kingdom by sea witch undercover marrying the prince. Who knows? Okay, or maybe you're going to be like a wholesome kind of Ariel little mermaid kind of creature. Who knows? You can move extra spaces. So in addition to the spaces for the page numbers, when completing books, you can move 1 space for every 2 episodes of Shark Week shows that you watch. Now, in terms of the new shows that are coming out this year, I have the Discovery page pulled up here. They have new episodes every day, but they also stream, or if you watch it on cable, they show the past shows as well. So you could watch a bunch of shows depending on what kind of time you have on your hands. But in terms of the new shows, on the 20th, our first day, I'm just going to go through the titles of these shows for you, and this is just coming right from their website. So Sunday the 20th, Dancing with Sharks, Air Jaws, The Hunt for Colossus, Great White Assassins. Ooh, I hope they find Colossus. He was an amazing shark. Monday, July 21st, Great White Sex Battle, Jaws vs. Mega Croc, In the Eye of the Storm, Shark Storm. July 22nd, Tuesday, Great White Northern Invasion, How to Survive a Shark Attack, The Mako of the Abyss. Wednesday, July 23rd, Expedition Unknown, Shark Files. Does that mean that Josh Gates is going to be on there? I love Josh Gates! Expedition X, Montpello Monster Shark, and Alien Sharks, Death Down Under. I like the alien shark shows because you get to see like weird, unusual sharks that you might never have seen before. Thursday, July 24th, Surviving Jaws, Caught, Shark Strikes Back, and Frankenshark. Friday, July 25th, Great White Reign of Terror, Florida's Death Beach, and Bull Shark Showdown. And then Saturday, July 26th, Attack of the Devil Shark and Battle for Shark Mountain. So every 2 episodes of Shark Week shows that you watch moves you further down the board. Other ways to get extra spaces. If you read a book that is shark, mermaid, or otherwise ocean related, that will give you an extra space, 1 per book. Making and or eating seafood or sea-related snacks. For example, like Swedish fish. They're called fish, even though they're not fish. Or you can cook you a nice piece of salmon for dinner or whatever. If you have something like that, you can move an extra space. And the rules say it may only be used once. And I'm gonna say per like round of going on the game board. I know some of you are gonna be watching a lot of shows and reading a lot. So if you get to the end of the game board and start over again, you can use the snack option to get you an extra space another time. Next rule is everyone wins. Whether you finish the game board 0, 1, or like 27 times, that seems kind of impossible, but you know what I mean. Everybody wins. There's no like grand prize here, like it's just for fun to get everybody to read and to appreciate sharks. Make sure you log your books and of course your pages read in the Google form that's provided by me. Again, when you go to Kofi and get the documents, you don't have to pay anything, by the way. The price is 0. If you want to like throw in $1 or something as a tip, you're welcome to, but I'm not expecting anything like that. So when you get those documents from Kofi, think I'm saying that right. I'm saying Kofi. At the beginning of the video I said Kofi. Which is it? I don't know. I'm gonna say Kofi. There will be a link to the Google form. I should also tell you the Google form will not be open until Shark Week starts. So if you get in there on like the 19th of July, it's not going to be open. There are some people who participate in this, or at least one person I know of from the UK, and they're obviously ahead of me. So I'm going by my time zone, which is Mountain Standard Time in the US. So the Google form will be opened up on July 20th and then close at the end of the day on the 26th, my time. Okay, let's talk about the prompts. Prompt number 1 is enter the competition. And this is just to read a book in your favorite genre. And again, you can do these prompts in any order you want. Prompt number 2, make friends with a sea creature. Now here's where our sharks come in. In one of the images that I created, there is a whale shark, because you know I had to. I put in an axolotl, which the axolotl that the AI made is weird looking. I'm sorry. And there's tons of creatures in the sea. You can imagine any sea creature you want for this prompt, right? The point of this prompt is to read a book featuring friendship of some kind. Okay, and it could be that friendship is in side characters. It doesn't have to be the main point of the story. There's just friendship there. Number 3, swimming event. Read a book that relates to a hobby or something you're good at. Like for me, it would be reading books or junk journaling, maybe taking pictures, I don't know. Or read a book featuring a competition. Prompt number 4, treasure diving event. Read a book that contains a quest or goal for the protagonist. That's every book, or at least every good book, right? Every good book. I don't know how some books get published when there's like no real plot, but you know, it happens sometimes. But 99% of the books, there's a goal or quest for the protagonist. 5, one-on-one date to the fish bowl. Now, you and the prince are going on this date to the fish bowl. The fish bowl is like this big party. It's kind of think of that senior prom, but for fish. Like there's gonna be all kinds of fish there. That fish exist in a variety of different colors and things, right? So read a book that has a randomly generated color on the cover. There are tons of color generators online. Just Google random color generator. You will find one. Some are wheels. Some just pop up a color for you. Some do colored palettes, which is fun. But generate yourself a color and then find a book with that color on the cover. Number 6, catching feelings. Okay, your character and the prince are starting to like really vibe with each other, right? They're starting to dig each other. Read a book that features romance. And you can do the same thing like we did with the friendship book. It could be kind of just the romance exists somewhere in the book, or it could be the main point of the book. And the last prompt is he's the one. Like your character and the prince, they've decided on each other, like it's it. He's the one for you. Read a book that you hope will be a 5-star read. As readers, 5-star reads are like our holy grail, our end goal, and the end goal of the competition to marry the prince is like he's the one. So, you know, that's where that tie on the prompt comes in. Okay, so I think that's all I need to share with you. I am going to go ahead and edit this video, and then it's July 1st, so I've got to get going on my 31 books in 31 days. Please let me know in the comments below if you are planning on joining Sharkathon. If you can't, that's fine. Summer's a busy time for people. It's just how it is, but otherwise, if you're not going to join Sharkathon and you want to let me know you were here watching the video, leave me a shark emoji in the space below. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.